So you want to get faster at Forza Motorsport? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm going to be giving away in this video 5 incredible tips that when you bring them together, you're going to be fast. You can see here, we're in the top 2% of all Forza Motorsport drivers. This is in the Logitech McLaren G Challenge. We did all of the stages and learnt so much about Forza. Logitech giving away over $100,000 in cash and prizes, and I was lucky to give away a direct drive wheelbase as well. This video is sponsored by Logitech, by the way, so big thanks to Logitech G for that. And we're going to be getting straight into it here, because the first technique is one that I really struggled with, and this is the first stage of the G Challenge, driving an incredible McLaren here that was really powerful, and I assumed that I'd just be able to sort of carry the speed through corners, and it was my biggest mistake. So what you need to learn to drive fast in Forza Motorsport is dial into the force feedback if using a wheel. A lot of people say that wheels are not the way to drive Forza. I disagree. When you get the force feedback dialed in, it can be incredible. Have a look here at the force feedback the wheel's giving me as my arm is sort of juddering there. Now, when I realised this, it was an absolute game changer, because you get so much information on Forza about that rotation when you're hitting the limit of your rotational speed, and that is absolutely critical to these sort of time trials. Have a look here when I was driving better, understanding the force feedback. You can see that I'm getting a lot more rotation on the wheel because I'm opening up my corners and I'm actually sacrificing speed earlier, and you can see it's a lot smoother on the wheel. So I'm trying to reach that point where I feel the vibration, where I feel I'm at the limit of rotation, and then I know that I need to sacrifice speed rather than just trying to batter my way through. And that's where I was losing a lot of time in the first stages of the Logitech McLaren G Challenge. You can go back and look at the videos and see it's very obvious. So massive change is understanding rotational speed and getting that feel from your wheel if you're using a force feedback wheel. I was obviously using the Logitech G Pro direct drive here. So big one for me, and I thought I was driving fast in the first stage, but in reality I wasn't. It felt fast, but it wasn't fast, and that's the incredible thing about rivals. You see your rivals just getting away from you. But the second thing I want to talk about is one I wasn't expecting, and I just tried it on the off chance, and this isn't something I use in Gran Turismo, but traction control. Now, before you come at me, traction control police, traction control in Forza I think can be very powerful. It was very powerful for me, and I'm going to show you on screen how it was working for me. So obviously we're going to have that TCS icon. See, it's flickering at the moment, but it's not really affecting the power delivery that much. It's just really smoothing it out. We'll see here, this was stage 3 of the G Challenge. As we go through these corners here, have a look at the TCS kick in without any negative effect on my rotational speed or getting down the power. It just smooths it out. And in these very powerful road legal supercars, it's an absolute game changer, especially on something like this last corner. Sometimes you don't need the TCS, they're not really kicking in, but if you overcook it a little bit, then the TCS will just completely save your lap, and that was enough to get us in, can't remember, top 10% I think we aim for in the world. Now we're going on to something that was really frustrating me, I have to be honest, until I worked out and looked at my input. So have a look at my inputs here on the brake. See, that brake there was quite smooth, but you're going to see as I'm going around Hakone here, I'm getting on and off the brake in a very generally unsmooth manner, a very aggressive manner, and you can see what that's doing to the way I'm driving the car in my hands. This is not a smooth driving style by any stretch of imagination. It's starting with the brake. See there, max brake quickly, off the brake, stabbing the brake, on and off the brake, and the car, this car in particular, does not respond well to that. And this is something that really came to me when I saw Nathan Maximum drive at Hakone, actually, in the last stage of Logitech McLaren G Challenge. Here he is. And I want you to look now at just how smooth he is on the brakes and the comparison with the Ghost car. Because he's so smooth, it just allows the car to rotate. And every time I'm stabbing the brakes, I'm interfering with that rotational process of the car. Forza Motorsport, a lot of it is just about getting that rotation without getting the back end out in a car like this, or having too much understeer in a front wheel drive car if you've done the touring cars. So you can see here as we're going to go into a big braking zone, have a look how smooth Nathan's going to be on the brake. This was to try and get into the top 1 or 2% in the world. Holding the brake in there. The incredible thing about this lap is that Nathan is actually barely braking, like any really good kart driver. So we're going to come in here, off the brake. Nathan is now not going to touch the brake until all the way at turn 1. And something that was even more incredible that we learned was the ABS for a driver like Nathan was actually inhibiting his ability to be even smoother with the brakes. So I thought, why not? Let's take it off. So assists different for everyone. If you look at the leaderboards, a lot of the top drivers using lots of different assists. Some drivers not using any. Nathan's here going without any assist because he wants to have that super responsive feeling on the brakes to induce that rotation. He's using the brake as a tool basically to rotate. So have a look here, and you're going to see into turn 1, he's just so smooth on the brake, and he really enjoyed it off the bat to get that nice rotation. And the brake is a tool to turn the car, and if you do karting, you'll really appreciate that. You're not really using the brake to slow you down. You're using it because of the effect it has on the axle and what it does to weight transfer. And we'll see here Nathan coming into this corner. That is such a trail breaky corner. Have a look at that brake. Just able to manage it really smoothly. Goodness me, that is incredible modulation. Are going to run a little bit wide in this first lap. But that was very interesting to see. Now, when you bring those tips together, by the way, so you bring the force feedback and then the brake, then you can feel it, especially around these sort of tight time trials. You can make sure you're coming into the corner right and you're exiting the corner right using a combination of smooth braking and feeling the rotation. Now, can you see anything that is unhelpful on this screen? This is tip number 4 if you're keeping count. And this was a massive one, again, that I just learned in Logitech McLaren G Challenge, not something I tried elsewhere. So have a look here. I was so afraid on the exit of running wide or track limits. I actually applied too much steering to come on the inside and lost the car and rolled over and had a horrendous crash. And that's all because I was afraid of the track limits on the outside. So the top tip here is use, or at least try, the track limits indicator. Here's Nathan using it, and you can see that same corner complex. He just has so much better visibility. Yes, the track limits generally follow the white lines. They're quite sensible, but they just give you a lot more visibility and they change colour as well. And he gives that confidence. So Nathan here, as he exits this corner, he knows exactly where the track limits are. They're both going to turn orange on the inside, and he can go wide here, and he's just not going to scrub off that speed or end up rolling the car like I did. So please do try that. Now the last tip here, again, something that I learned in the Logitech G Challenge and made me a lot faster, is in Forza, please try and drive a lot of different cars. I learned an incredible amount by going from McLaren to McLaren and trying what techniques works, doubling down on the ones that did, learning new techniques. So Forza, loads of different cars. Please try those different cars in the game and you will get faster. I hope this video helped. Big thanks to Logitech for sponsoring it, and I'll see you next time.